Well, you know, my first guest from such films is Drugstore Cowboy, and There's Something About Mary. He can now be seen in the terrific new movie, Crash. I can't say enough good about this movie. Please welcome Matt Dillon. How are you?
Good.
Everything good? Look at you. You look good.
Feeling pretty good. A little tired. I got off the red eye. I was in California. So.
You were in California? But you're in New York a lot, though,
I'm
right?
a New Yorker.
Because you know what? Every time I pick up the paper, you're in the gossip column. There's another Matt Dillon sighting, and it seems like they write about you every day, and it's pretty mundane stuff, but they'll literally print Matt Dillon seen leaving a deli with a sandwich. Matt Dillon went to a yoga class, got a manicure.
I don't know about the yoga class, but, you know, it seems to balance itself out because I think about half of it's lies. So
right.
You can, when it's something real, you can kind of say, oh, no, that was a lie.
Right,
you know?
right.
You can always kind of cover your tracks.
Did you ever read something that just made you laugh out loud? Like, there's no way that could be true?
Well, there was a period of time, some years ago where I was always being linked with Cher. And, you know, I know she's an ex
Yeah.
of yours.
Yes.
But
Cher and I were together like 98 to 2001.
Anyway, it was always like me coming out of her building at 6 o'clock in the morning. Or
Right.
There was one time I flew her down to Mexico for the week, down to Cancun.
Right.
And I met her a couple times. She's perfectly nice. But,
right. But, you know, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. If they're going to make up stuff, it's kind of cool. I would kill for that kind of thing, to pick up the paper and just see that I was with some supermodel and be like, it's not true, but maybe. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? But with me, it's always didn't finish his salad at Sizzler, you know?
Oh, really?
That's what I get, yeah. And it's always true and sad, you know? Do me a favor. I'm just looking at you, and it's making me... just do me a favor. Just look to camera 3 for a second. Do you mind? Just look to camera 3.
Do you ever feel like backing down? Do you ever feel like somebody you just don't belong?
Please stop playing that song before we both kill ourselves. If you ever want to be the hunky newcomer on this show, just walk in the door. Let us know. It pays pretty good.
All right, I'm going to keep that in mind.
Now, I don't even know if this is true, but I read that you're a bowler. Now, I don't know what to believe if that's true anymore.
Another one of these, frequently read things. I'm not. You know, I bowled when I was a kid.
Right.
And recently, I guess, there was maybe a bowling sighting because I was in Minnesota doing a film, had a little time on my hands on a Sunday, and I decided to go have a sandwich at the local bowling alley. And
Wait a minute, who decides to go get a bite to eat at the bowling alley?
It was a nice
I want to go
bowling
get a
alley.
bite to eat. I think I'll go to the bowling alley. Clearly, food is a priority there.
It was like a vintage bowling alley, kind of 50s theme.
Right.
And, I'm eating my sandwich, and I look out at the bowling alley, and then I proceeded to bowl 28 games by myself.
So you started 28 games?
28 games.
That's got to be like, that must have taken like 11 hours or something.
I don't know. I just kept going, and I was getting all these strange looks from the staff.
Right.
Naturally. I actually had to go and replace my scorecard.
Right.
And
You got hooked.
I got hooked.
Did you ever do it for a dating situation? Do you ever take a girl bowling? Because sometimes that's supposed to be the classic date.
Do you think? I don't know. I don't think... You don't want to get beat by your girlfriend in bowling, for one thing. It's just not...
Yeah, because it gets in your head if you're a guy, and then later on that night it's in your head. And,
I think the best thing is to give them...
Well, I mean, I'd have trouble performing later on if I'd been humiliated and beaten earlier.
No,
Did I just reveal too much? Was that weird? All right, let's move on. So you don't want the girl to win.
Well, you want to give her just enough instruction where she can't beat you. You know,
so that she does kind of well but doesn't beat you.
She thinks you're helping her out, but really you're just, trying not to get beat.
Wow, you're very sick and controlling.
I think a psychiatrist would do a lot with this number.
If anyone wants to write in and tell us what's...
That may have been what prompted the 28, 28-game bowling streak.
It's also clear why your relationship with Cher failed eventually. She couldn't have her own success. Let's move on. Let's talk about the movie Crash. I want to make sure, a lot of times I have these interviews and then talk a little bit about the movie at the end, but I wanted to talk about this movie because I saw it the other night, and it was best movie I've seen in a long time. It's actually it's a very hard thing to pull off, a movie about many different lives coming together, and it's a movie about something. And the audience I saw it in Times Square, and the whole audience was blown away by the movie.
Wow.
It was cheering different scenes in the movie.
Well, I got to say that the director, Paul Haggis, is really brilliant. He's a great storyteller, and he put together this, I mean, a very ambitious story with multi-protagonistic, story with different characters. My character was a tough one because he's a racist. He's a guy with a chip on his shoulder. He's an L.A. cop. I know that seems like a stretch for some people.
Right.
Wait, I better be careful there. You know, I don't want to get in trouble, you know, out there. And now when I pass the cops, I sort of wave to them, let them know I'm one of them.
Right.
In any case.
Portrayed you all as racist. Good to see you.
They were actually pretty good guys, the guys I dealt with.
But it's interesting because your character is very, when the audience is, and I don't want to give anything away, but there's more to it. When you first meet your character, you think one-dimensional, really bad guy, and then, of course, there's more to it. You learn more about the character.
Right. Well, that's what I liked about the script. There's a real arc with the character. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he's a guy who's got, you know, this obvious racial problems, but he's also got this relationship with his father, and his father's sick, and he's got all these frustrations, and
he's
they come out sideways.
He's trying to get his father help.
It doesn't make his actions excusable, but you get a sense of where the guy is, where he's coming from.
And you actually rode to prepare for this role. You rode with some police. Is that right?
We did a ride around. That's what they call it. You know, there's all these sort of, you know, code terminology. A ride around.
I've heard about it. It's what it's actors do. I think in L.A., if you flag down any cop car, there's going to be 3 actors in the back riding around, preparing for a role.
Well, that was funny because we were in the car, and it was me and a friend of mine. I did some with Ryan Phillippe, but this particular day I was just with a friend of mine, and I was with the sergeant, and a car went around the corner, and like the bumper was hanging off, and the license plate was, I think there was expired. I mean, it was this car, and he goes, "Oh God, these guys are dirty." And I go, "Well, aren't you going to pull him over?" You know, and he goes, "No, I can't, not with you guys here." And I'm like, "Well, how many guns you got in this car? Let's go. Let's take them down."
What are you talking about? You want a gun suddenly? Great,
no,
great.
He basically had to radio it in, but these guys were actually pretty scary looking. It really looked like a ghost car or something.
Right. Right.
Actually, could have gotten really ugly.
Wait a minute, this is...
We pulled these guys
And then
over.
the car disappeared. There were 3 ghostly sailors inside. Arr! That story got weird towards the end. It was a ghost car. We raided it in, and the guy at the other end of the line said, "Well, that car blew up 40 years ago." Eerie. There's a good movie there. If you ever want to go, I'll executive produce. Just cut me in on a little something.
All right, we'll do it. Ghost Car.
Yeah.
Starring Conan O'Brien.
He just blew me off. You can tell. Right now, you're saying yes, but you're thinking that'll never happen.
A G-Ride, which is a stolen car.
I love the lingo. A G-Ride is a stolen car?
G-Ride. And evidently, a guy got drunk, and he reported his car stolen because he couldn't remember where he parked it. And then... They forgot to deactivate the low jack. So when we got to the scene, there were like 9 cops and this guy on the ground yelling, "That's my car!"
That's hilarious. He got drunk, then reported it stolen, then got sober enough to find his car, got into it, and drove away. That's something I would do. Well, not the drunk part. Or the car part. I would never do anything like that. Crazy. We have a clip here from Crash, and I believe this is, you're trying to get help for your father who's old and unwell, and you're trying to get some help. And you're dealing with some of your racial issues in this scene.
That stuff comes out. He's trying to get help his father. He's frustrated with the HMOs, the insurance, but all the bile and all the sort of anger comes out of the character in a way. But we also get an understanding of where he's coming from, because his father was affected by racial politics, you know, years earlier, so he carries that around with him, those resentments.
All right, let's take a look at this clip from Crash.
Job.
Yeah, it's... But then you watch the movie some more, and there's more. It's really fascinating.
There's redemption with the guy. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to watch some of these things because the guy there's, you know, a couple of really tough scenes with him.
Right.
But there is redemption, and I think that's what, there's a lot of hope at the end of this
I think that's the thing, is you have to
know?
see this movie to understand how that character can be redeemed. You have to see it, and you see it, and it works. And it's a terrific film. Crash is in theaters now. Congratulations. It's a very cool movie to be part of. Matt Dillon, everybody. Al Roker coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.